Welcome everybody to Me Time. I am so excited about today's guest. We had such a good time. Her name is Angie Banicki. She is a tarot card reader, but she's so much more than that. In that her story is absolutely fascinating and truly has a gift, I believe, for reading the cards, and we have an absolute blast in our reading / interview and our time today. So I hope you all please enjoy. I learned a lot for sure. And I hope you all do too about tarot. It's very fun to learn about it. And also she does a little reading for me that is interesting. Okay, please enjoy. Yes, I'm not going to reveal what happened last night, but it's crazy that you actually just said that music is, you were like, what just happened last night? So
wait, and it's so funny because the next song just switched to Get Down, but that song always comes on as a tie to San Francisco.
Shut up, really? I didn't mean to tell you to shut up, I'm sorry, but I just got back from San Francisco. So Angie and I have heard about you through people. Same. And yes, yep. For a bit. And so when it came up with Noelia to have this, I was like, and then I was like, is she comfortable? Are you comfortable doing the readings live? Because okay, good. I just want to make sure because I'm gonna get there. But anyway, so, and we hit it off immediately. We were already talking about things that we're feeling because as you can hear, I'm a little bit hoarse, and I am, the first thing you were like, it's clearing, right? Like you were talking about how you just went through this, and like I feel these things too, where I'm like, I'll hear a message that's just like, oh no, you just need to breathe deeper. Like literally.
You're so right about the breath. I feel like we all need to, right?
Yes.
Because can you feel it move wherever the cough or the pain is, like when you breathe?
Yeah. Like what was happening was when I would take a deep breath, it would actually I'd have to cough. So I was like, oh, I'm not breathing deep enough to get to whatever actually needs to clear. But then you were like, this week is also a week about healing. So what's going on with the healing and the moon?
This full moon, I just keep getting for so many people and in readings that this full moon, the full moon always wants to help us see anything we can't see or understand more of our emotions. And I taught right before I came here, and we do a weekly tarot pull, and the message was all around healing, but it was your mind may not make sense of it, but your heart will understand the healing. And it was sort of and especially around our most important relationships. And so, so there's whatever's needing to, because sometimes what's stuck in our body or what's trying to release there is emotional pain, right? And it was showing up as the emotions will understand and help support and healing, or if there's anything else you need to see, right? The moon to me shows us. So if there's anything, to me, if it's someone who's maybe drinking too much or has been smoking or something, you might be shown by the moon you need to stop or you need to cut back or but the moon will show us.
I heard something earlier today that was all we need to do is listen. And I was like, oh, that's so interesting, because I lately have been feeling if I hear, you were just saying, the moon, we know, even just you saying that, what needs to be revealed, what will be, you'll see it.
Wait, I love you said that too. Wait, go ahead, sorry.
Why?
Well, just because today, today in yoga, you just reminded me. I was I already forgot. But I've had this weird back pain for the last 3 or 4 days. And I'm I never have back pain like this. I used to get this when I was young. What is going on? And then I just was I guess I just haven't been eating as healthy or something. And then in yoga, in the middle of yoga, to your point of listening, I got so deep in meditation. It just out of nowhere, I wasn't even thinking. And it was corn. And I forgot that I don't know, 5 or 10 years ago, my friend Sarah was oh, I did this research, because I was I don't understand this pain. And she was she's a Scorpio like me. So maybe if you're, I don't know if it's a Scorpio thing or not, but she was corn affects my body in a way that I did all this research, and it can cause whatever inflammation in your back and create back pain. And so while I was in yoga, I got that message and I was like, oh my God, I ate all these corn chips and I never eat corn chips. I ate like a whole bag.
Those damn corn chips
caused the pain in my back.
Yeah.
But to your point, I was so deep in listening and I was like,
yeah,
oh my God, that came out of nowhere. But I had to get so still. I mean, not still in yoga, but still in my mind with everything cleared to be able for that to come through, to be like, oh, here's what you need to know to help fix. Like, this is the answer.
That's amazing. I just feel like that is a message all around. Is like, we ourselves have, like, we know, like, the highest part of ourself often always knows. But all right. So Angie, you are a tarot reader, right? Is that what you call yourself?
Yep.
Okay, great. So that's what I thought, but I didn't know if you had like any other.
I've had this my whole life, even when I worked in PR. People could not define me and I could never define myself. And maybe people couldn't define me because I couldn't define myself, but it was always like, when I worked in PR, someone said this to me and it always they introduced me in a way that was like, no one knows how to describe Angie, but she just makes magic happen, and that was before I was tapped into this. And I was like, oh yeah, I don't like know how I do it. It's always a little different and sometimes causes trouble or like.
Interesting. So you kind of always knew.
I didn't know.
Or
not
you
until
knew you
33.
couldn't explain what you.
I
Okay,
knew
let's go.
But I had a way in PR where I would put like a celebrity, like people would be like, how did you know that person was going to become famous? Like I would maybe meet someone or like, no, but I didn't attribute that to, I was just like, I don't know. I just like met them and liked them and da-da-da. But a lot of times like, or I would be able to tell a brand. Like I remember working with Nintendo and I was like, we have to do this thing. I got this guy, Trace Crawford. I met him and he's going to be famous. And Gossip Girl hadn't come out, or there was like, no. And they were like, what? And I was like, no, you barely have to pay him. We have to do this thing. And then, like 6 months later, they were like, remember when you got us Trace Crawford? And now he's like the hottest, that kind of thing.
That's incredible. Okay. So go there. So you first start, so you've been in PR for however.
I did that for I worked at a charity and then at the Elizabeth Glaser Pediatric AIDS Foundation. And then I went and worked PR until it was like around 33 that
that's a special age.
Yeah.
So what how did you find your way to
I started having dreams, or like I started having dreams and I would call people and be like, I had this dream about you. And they would be like, were you with me yesterday? Or it would tie into something. And then I also I just started having a knowing that I couldn't understand. And then someone gave me cards, I would like say to someone, I think your baby's going to be born 10 days late, or like, just things that I couldn't quite connect. And then someone gave me the cards and it was just so fun. I still wasn't like, I have this gift. I was just like, wait, we can figure things out with the,
yeah. So was it tarot specifically that you were first given cards? And like, is it there's one deck.
The Rider-Waite.
Yeah.
So no, at first I was given a Prada deck by my friend Holly Wiersma, and she was like, try this. And it was like a smaller mini deck. And I would sit at like Soho House and just like pull cards, and I couldn't believe how I could look at the cards and like know something, but I would also always have to be drunk. So I'd have to be drinking wine.
Hold on. This is amazing. You're not the first person to tell. I met someone in Toronto and he said something similar. And I was like, that's really interesting, because we associate it with not like, a lot of people will say like, you move away from your spiritual gifts when you drink or when you do certain things. But I've had as many people say, that's actually how they discovered it.
Because if you're someone that's in your head a lot, right?
Yes.
Now I can't drink. Like now I can't.
Right.
But then that was the only way to unlock, because otherwise I'd get too in my head and be like worried about, like, my mind wanted to take over.
Yeah.
But that allowed my mind to just,
All right. So you got the cards and you're starting to work with them. Did you study tarot? Like, did you go back and study what each card meant? Or was it like, no, it told you?
At first, it just started by me, like, having the little book, but it was almost, again, I wasn't saying, come to me, I'll tell you. I was like, buy me a glass of wine, let's see what happens, Or like, we would be like, it would be fun to watch what we could predict.
Right.
And then, it took a long time, but I look back on it and I'm like, oh no, that's amazing. It took a long time, because I refused to, like, people kept saying to me, you should be doing this as a job. And I refused to take money for it. Like, I was it was sacred, even though I was doing it in this like haphazard way, a little bit like drinking, but I took the responsibility of it like so seriously. I didn't want to make it a job for as long as possible. And then once I started to open up to like, okay, people are like begging me to come, to pay me to do this. That's when I started buying all the books. But like, I learned it by the experience of, I pulled this card for myself, and then I would see what would happen. And then I would have this story to create the meaning. And yes, the little booklet in here, but I just like created the meanings or found for myself how to associate that. And then the books became this like kind of side thing, but it was never, because it's not an academic learning. It's like you grow this attachment to this thing that gives you,
Right. And so were you getting like feedback from people all of a sudden that was like, wait, everything in this was everything lined up, everything so you were like, okay.
Well, especially I think because I wasn't like, I know, so I was like, let's tell me what happens. Okay, like, let's see,
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So you start doing this. So you just were using this, so you let the cards kind of tell you, like, you associated your own connection to them. So now when you read them, you know what the cards mean for whoever you're reading for or whatever. Because that was my thing with tarot, is when I first, I was like a little afraid of it. I'm not now. But like the cards were so powerful to me. And they were like, well, if it's reversed, it could mean something bad. And if it's this, blah, blah, blah. And so I started to be like, I don't know. Do I want to learn tarot? Do I want to know? So I've done like oracle cards, but just in the last like few months, I'm like, I'm down with tarot. Now I'm down with tarot, but like I still have no idea what the cards mean. But I love when I know a few of them, like when I've started to develop a really strong connection to a couple of them that I'm like, oh, I know when that shows up, it's like, that's me. That's me. So like but like literally it's like 2 or 3 cards. But I have to like come back to you when we sat down, you were like, oh, would you say my hearing in my right ear? You were like, okay. So beyond tarot, you were saying like you get sort of channeling through music. You can, so when, again, was this like when you were doing tarot that you're like, oh wait, I'm getting messages all the time. Like I'm getting a sign of this or a sign of that. Like,
well, I think it goes back to what you said before about listening. Like I just all of a sudden now am so aware of like how the numbers, like the number up there was just at 33 when I looked up, and that's my like 33 is my life path number. So when that shows up, I'm like, oh yeah, I looked at the clock and got the 33.
I looked at myself 17 when we first cut it. That's mine. So
that's my daughter's 17.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, literally. And yesterday, like the job I got last year, I found the original sides for Boston Blue, the show that I like. Honestly, I've talked about it on here a lot, just how it kind of was a miracle, like it dropped out of the sky like a miracle. And the sides that I originally got, I'd never seen that. I kept them just as like and in my little, I call it my fire box, the box I would take in the case of a fire. And I put them in there, and I opened them yesterday to look at them, and I saw it was April 17th of last year.
That's my daughter. Wait, is that your birthday?
No, it was just the day I got the sides.
Oh.
That's your daughter's birthday?
Yeah.
What's going on? What's going on?
Okay,
that's crazy. That was the date that they came through. The first audition like came through.
Wow. Big for you.
Well, that's crazy. Anyway, so yeah. And then I moved into the 17th floor of the building I was in by chance. Yeah. When I was in Toronto. And 17, I had lost track of this is just fun to talk about. But for years I was like, I don't see it anymore. I was 555 was my kind of a thing that was starting to show up everywhere. But I was like, I don't see it as much. And that brought it back. It was almost like I came back to myself. Like this job has sort of helped me come back to myself, I think. And so that's the way I sort of see it. But when we first got in here, when we were like looking at one point, I glanced up and it was 12:17. So I was like,
gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you just
have it too. But it's like listening to but it's noticing
synchronicities and the dreams. Like I now take my dreams a lot more seriously than I ever have before, just because, well, let me ask you if you have a sense of this. Like, maybe it's just me because I'm now like so interested in all of these different, like the spiritual, name it. But like, I feel like everyone is. I feel like there's a curiosity and like an awakening thing that is happening. What do you think it is now that is it new, or is it just new to me because I'm coming into it? Or are you feeling this too, that like people are like really curious, really open, and having their own experiences, and rather than being like, that's just a coincidence, people are like, maybe it's not.
This is,
like
1,000%.
Yeah.
But I think that's why I told you right at 33, it wasn't like I was like, oh, I've been waiting for this or something. Like it wasn't of interest to me. And I always, there's a thing that feels like my path where what I went through was just to go through what everyone else is going through now. It's not like I'm like, oh, I'm just gifted with this gift. I'm like, oh, I got something maybe ahead so I could help support all these people who are moving. And I agree. I feel like the world is now like
shifting.
Even like my brother's getting married next week, and like he's been my like anti from like the like
skeptic.
He's the skeptic to everything. Like everything's a coincidence. Sure. And like, okay, Angie.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because also my brother, right?
Yeah.
But over Thanksgiving, I did like a card under everyone's plate and did like a whole thing. And it was the first time he like lit up in a way, because he pulled this card, and it so even just like the picture on it tied so well with his soon to be wife, like in a way that I was like, oh, even Adam's shifting. Like,
oh,
right?
Exactly. And what is like, I'm thinking of this as I'm saying, because I'm like, I'm trying to figure out too, is it from a place of like, there is something else, there's more going on, there is power in, we're having all these talks of manifestation now in a way we never had before. Like I remember when The Secret hit and everybody was like, The Secret, it was and then it was sort of like, it's kind of bullshit. Like something happened, I feel like, with the author or something that.
Well, it just like had its moment.
It had its moment.
I don't even know that anyone's like anti, but it's just like, we're past that moment.
We're past the moment. Yes. Yeah. But everybody is sort of having this like, wait a second, you mean I can like speak affirmations and actually help my health? I can speak to myself in a certain way that like has me walk into this meeting and do something different. And I think we're actually seeing it happening. So like, I also think people are becoming a bit more like, I'm down to explore that, versus like, because I know a lot of the skeptics too. I really have never been one. I've always kind of believed in something else. But yes, members of my family, even like friends being like, oh, you're woo woo, like, oh yeah, I get onto your cards and whatever. And I'm like, you watch. And it'll be like, I pull an oracle card and they're like, oh my God, this is
totally.
But people are just like more open to it than they ever have been before. And I was like, is this just the nature of the world right now, of like something is shifting and we're all kind of here for it? I don't know. That's how I feel.
I mean, I think you're not wrong.
Yeah. And then I'm like, and then I'm like, all right, so tarot is it's a, not fortune, it's almost like how would you define kind of like a reading? Like a map?
It could be a map.
Yeah.
Like for me, the tarot is just my way of channeling the guidance, of understanding the guidance for the person. And it's almost like, I don't know, it changes almost with every person, like but I would say it's almost like my higher self talking to your higher self, and then I'm translating with the cards.
Oh, so cool.
Right? So it's like,
cool.
And we're like, and with every person, the language might be different, or I might understand it in different ways, but the cards help me to translate.
Yeah.
Right? And to then, and for me, I think why I like the tarot too is because sometimes we're figuring it out together. Like sometimes even the person's like, wait, that card, like that means something to me, or they can see like.
I think that's like, I just actually had a thought about it. Like that maybe it's not that people are coming around to it. It's that we've always been using it. It's just people are talking about it now. People are way more comfortable sharing. Yeah. Like, oh, I met this person.
We're curious about it. But
and
maybe just not.
Yeah.
But maybe before it was just, for me, before 33, I was like, I work and make things happen. Oh my God, I love to do these things and I make it happen. And sometimes there's a little like, I don't know how I knew those people, but I wasn't giving it like this. I was just like, oh, I just like met this person. It seemed cool to like put them together. And then I think now we all are just like curious about life, right? Or
Yeah.
those of, like, I'm always like, why would I not want to live it? Like, it got to the point with the cards where I was like, why would I not want to live in this space of like trying to understand something that's so hard to comprehend? Like,
and then we don't have a language for.
Yes.
Like literally, like because I also feel like Oracle. I also feel like these types of things. Every ancient text talks about some type of oracle guide of some kind or whatever. We just don't necessarily always have the language, just like you're talking about. It's like sort of getting in, I call it the vortex when I like get into like a thing. We're like, oh, we're in the vortex. Like we're in it. We're now in it together right now. And there's something else is happening. Like it opens something that's like, it feels so like Marvel. What's the movie? The doctor, what's his name? Do you know his movie I'm talking about, Mara? The Benedict Cumberbatch?
Oh.
Doctor Strange, thank you. He's like, yes, I was about to say Doctor Invisible. I'm like, wait, that's not it. It's not Doctor Invisible. It's Doctor Strange. But like when you get into that space with people and sometimes like I said something the other night and I was like, I have never said that before. I have never even had this thought before. And yet it perfectly described the moment. And I literally said, hang on, I just want to say this the right way. I just want to get the words for this. And I was like, it's like this. And then I was like, where did that even come from? I was talking about actors and like how when somebody like is kind of, I called it like in the lottery wheel, like your number will come up. Like there's this sort of thing where like when I have friends that are going for like audition after audition, they're getting close and they're getting close and then they don't get it and they're so sad and like, and I've been there a million times, but when you're in this like momentum, it's usually like the number's coming. Like the number is coming. That's what I was. And so my friend was like, the lottery wheel. I never thought of it like this. I'm like, yeah, you have to get in once you're in that part. It's almost like all of us are capable of doing the job. It's just whose day it was to fulfill that part of their journey. That's sort of how we were talking about it. It was like, I don't know sometimes why somebody gets a job over another person, but I have to think it's like, that's a part of their journey. Also not getting was a part of mine. And like, these are all lessons we have all signed up to learn in some way that we've like designed this moment. And so it's like, kind of makes you feel a little bit better about the like trusting in the unfolding of life versus like, why is nothing working out for me? Or why am I, whatever. Yeah. Sorry, I got off on a little tangent there. I was like,
no. But you were like channeling.
Yes. That is what it kind of feels like when you're like, where did that come from? And you're like, I just said these words and I meant them. They felt like truth to me, but I have a new thing with truth too. That's like whenever I get the chills, if somebody tells me something and I'm like, oh yeah, that is to listen. You need to like, either you need to do that thing you're talking about doing right now, or that is a truth I needed to hear. Yeah.
I have that too. I have that especially around like people who have passed and if I'm around, and it doesn't happen all the time. That's how I know when it's deep, deep truth. If someone's like, with someone who's
passed.
Yeah.
Do you feel that when you sit down now, like let's say you sit down in a reading, do you pick up on the energy right away with the person you're reading with? Like, do people show up? Are you hearing? And
I still haven't connected to that fully, but yes, I feel it, but I don't know always how to connect to it. Yeah. But even like when you just brought it up again. So when we first started, my ear closed and then it opened back up as we were talking. And it just closed again.
So what does it mean?
Yeah. Like it's for sure, like I said to you, it's either guides or someone who's passed, who's here. That's my way of knowing because it's like they're trying to me, this here still feels to me like I'm still learning to understand.
Oh.
Like I use the tarot, right? But in terms of like hearing the messages here.
Yeah.
Still working.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
As we were talking and you were like, thinking about my grandmother, and because I was about to tell you, I was like, yeah, my grandmother, I feel lucky that I've grown up in a family where this was like not like we were all kind of especially my mom and I very curious, but my grandmother, we used to call her the travel psychic or the travel oracle.
Oh, no way.
So we go to grandma's before a flight or call her before a flight and be like, Grandma, is it going to be okay? Because I always believed she had it. And then my mom has just recently told me about 3 visions she had of me when I was young that have 2 so far have directly she's like, I didn't tell you about this, and one was related to the show I'm on now and the other was like a show I did when I was 18, and the last one she said was a talk show. That one I haven't done yet, but maybe this is it. So I've told her that. I was like, well, maybe. She's like, yeah, but I kind of keep this stuff to myself, and I'm like, don't. But I feel like anyway, so I could literally talk to you about this all day, because I do feel like I'm a newbie in the world of like, now I'm starting to connect, like understand in a certain way that I mean, I'm 45, way behind I'm older, but I also, something has happened to me, I feel like over the last 2 years, where I'm just like undeniable miracles, undeniable synchronicities, undeniable. And then now it's like the second it, like you start to kind of see it, it's like happening all the time. But tarot is kind of new for me, believe it or not. Yeah. So that's why I was like, well, this is fun, because people listening, they know that I did an episode a little bit ago called The Curious Woo Woo, which, Mara, you'll love this. Some people actually said that sounded dirty. You dirty minds. Sorry. I was like, what does that mean? We can cut that if we want, but I just had to tell you that. Some people reached out and they were like, I got a little question mark and an eyebrow raise around this title. And I was like, no. I'm curious. I want to learn as much as I can. I want to talk to as many people. And I just love that you have kind of found your purpose to help people through this, and you heard it. You answered the call.
Well, but like I said, like they were gifted to me, and I found out only like years later that my great grandmother had cards, but she threw them away because it got too scary and she was like, my aunts had to tell me, because my parents were so Catholic and like, ugh. Yeah. And my aunts were like, she had cards, but she didn't like knowing like when people were going to die. They were like, she just was getting overwhelmed by it. But I always took that as my purpose is transforming that into using the cards, like,
right.
Where like even this morning when I taught, someone was like, we had someone new on, and she was like, I really just like your deck, because even the cards that normally scare me, like somehow they feel a little brighter and lighter in your deck. And she's like, they don't feel hard. And I'm like, well, the reality is like life, you want to know when you're moving through something hard. So you can't just have
happy cards all the time. Yeah.
So you have to understand the dark and the light, but we tried to make it like,
that's amazing.
So that it's, like, fun.
What do you teach? Like where?
I just teach online. Like I do a Zoom. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
On
it's
tarot?
Like a weekly Zoom. Yeah. Cause my whole thing is like, I never wanted to teach, like I never thought of teaching as like, you should go buy all these courses. Like my whole thing is like I told you, I did it for years and years and just like learn it. I took it into my body. Right. And so I do this weekly where it allows people to be like, what do I need to know this week? And then every week they're learning the cards as we do it together and talk about what you pull. It's like a fun. Yeah.
That's fun. Amazing that you do that too. I love that. I grew up Catholic as well. What do you say? We can cut this actually but what is it? Do they think it's witchcraft? Like what is the darkness about it that?
I think that
because I've experienced that too.
Oh, for me, for my parents, because now my parents, it took them a while, but then they came to like a party at my house, and I remember they were like telling me stories of people coming up to them, and they were like, some people were crying, sharing like how you helped them through like a hard time, and they were like, this is your gift, you have to do it. But they were so like I remember the first time they found out was at my brother's wedding in France, and all like the French relatives of his wife were like running around being like, she knows things, and my parents were like, what? And I was like, don't tell them.
Right.
Well, and then they're like, what were you doing? And they're like, but again, like even COVID, my dad took a little longer, but over COVID, I would come down and share a story. I'd be like, I just did a reading on Zoom, and he's like, Angie, I'm in awe of like they went from, to like, wait, we're in awe. Like they were like, what a gift for you. Cause I would be like, can you believe this happened in the reading? And the cards told me this. And my dad would be like, this is so incredible. You can
help people.
Yeah.
And I love that. Like I actually, you said it, like we fear the things we don't know, obviously. Right. So like, but then when you know, if you are curious, then it's like, oh, I see how this is helpful. This is for good.
Yeah.
This is not being used to.
And I use the Catholic thing not to be negative about Catholics, but it's like that religion, my parents grew up being taught that way of thinking was the way, right? Yeah. And so it was like this other thing that, it was like a control, the religion.
Of course, that, right? And you stick to that. You stick to that, right? Because it's like anything outside of that is too scary, and that's what you know, but it's weird. You take one little step in that direction, and you're like, well, tell me more. And I always think about these things. I'm like, well, if God created, then he's also part of that.
Right.
He's also part of this.
Totally.
He's also part of this conversation.
Look at you.
He's
That's
also
a
part
good
of the
way
thing.
to- yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm like, well, okay. So
Yeah.
that's why I'm always like, well, then why is this here?
Yep.
Why is that here?
Totally.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that's what I think is I've had
That's such a
conversations.
great way to like, yeah, that's good.
God, well, the stars. So astrology, yes, that's a map. Where'd
Yeah.
that come from?
Yeah.
Where'd that come from? How we use that? Why are we using that as a map? Have
Yeah.
you started that in the Bible? That's in the Bible. It's in the Bible. Like I mean, not to like, I'm not knocking anything around like the religion of it, but I'm like, it's for good, and it's also a, you know, there is a, as you just were describing it, I was like, how beautiful, and also to help people, and also isn't that why we're here? So it gets into like purpose and God. I don't know. I can like. We can talk about that all day too. But let's talk about like the cards and like, do we want to do something?
You want to do some cards?
I mean, yeah, I think it would be fun. I'm trying to think what other like listener questions too that people might have that might be like, well, I'm scared of, well, you kind of cleared this up already about like, the negative. I'm scared of hearing something that scares me. I'm scared of, you know, those things.
Well, and
you know,
those things to me are like my perfect example is like the tower can be scary to me too. Like
Yeah.
because I
Right.
have like an app where I get like a card a day that just becomes for me sort of again, it's like another tool of learning. And like for me, I can think of the times like my perfect example is that's like almost silly, but it's where I pulled the tower and I was like, oh God, what's going to happen today? Oh my God, is something going to happen today? Like, cause I know when I get the tower, I'm so connected and so in belief and trust
Right.
that when I'm shown it, I'm like, my emotional
Yeah.
regulation is going to be tested today. Like
Yeah.
I am going to feel emotions. That's
Yeah.
my signal of the tower.
Yeah.
But the star comes after the tower. So the tower is like, we're going to shake everything up inside you in some way or maybe outside of you, but in order to get you into healing or get you into a dream scenario to up level you. And so I was like, but that day I was just like, I don't want the tower. Like what's happening? You know,
enough of the tower today.
Yeah, and I was supposed to go to a birthday party. My partner and daughter went, and I had to do readings. I was like stuck working, and when I got done, I kept calling my partner to be like, where are they? Like, should I go meet them at the birthday party or should I? And this is all to say, this all sounds so boring, right? It's like, this doesn't sound like the tower, but I'm calling them and his phone is going straight to voicemail. And so I start to go into, I'm like, oh my God, something's happened. And then I'm like, no, oh my God, he turned his phone off. And like, what are they doing without me? Like I went into a whole spiral around him being a bad dad or relationship. Like, and then I was like, oh, and then he's just hanging out with all the moms and flirting. Like I just took every layer of this tower and started to go. And then I was like, wait, I pulled the tower today. And I was like, my emotions are getting tested. What am I going to do with that? I have this knowledge and the tower. And so what is it showing me? And I was like, oh, instead of doing what I normally do, which is go into like fear and pain and like anger or one of those, I got in the bath, I made myself a bath, and I was like, I'm going to just like give myself, I pulled a card and laid in the bathtub, and they came home, and Mark came like running in, and he was like, oh my God, are you okay? I just got your messages. Like my phone, we didn't have service at the party.
House. Right.
And he's like, and the kids didn't want to leave, and so we stayed longer. Like, but he had a real like explanation that just like, and was so kind in it. And because I had moved through that emotional regulation, dysregulation, and regulation on my own, I didn't have to have it with him the way I would in the past, where I either would have freaked out or then like, and I went through on my own, and then our relationship like grew closer through it. And I was like, oh, that was the tower. But that was the tower where it didn't have to be, it doesn't always have to mean like when someone's like, exactly, or chaos. Right. The chaos was within me. Right. But if you remember the chaos, if you're being shown the card, it's like you're meant to go through. It's like the card's prepping you to be like, hey, something might shake you up a little bit. This is ultimately for good. So how are you going to be prepared? And by the way, we're all like, life right now is kind of, if you think of what's happening in the world, we're all in the tower now. Yeah. And we're trying to get to the star. Yeah. And so if you're just like, oh, okay, this got shaken up today. Like how am I, But the more that you're just like, oh, maybe everyone else is shaking up, but how am I going to just be in my own? I don't know. It changes the game, right? Where like, I think that's why when I teach you and like someone got the tower today and the message around it was just sort of like, you're ready for an up level around partnership. And I think she's single and the whole story. And she was just like, this is everything I've been like crying about the last 2 days. But I was like, the universe is going to shake you. And I was like, that could have been even her meeting someone and it shakes her up to be like, wait, what does this mean? Or like something happens to show where she was blocking relationship. But the cards were like, yeah, you're ready. Yeah. So we're going to shake you a little bit to get you ready around
Let's
partnership.
shake off some exit. Let's shake off some energy. Or like, that's what I love about it is like, I don't know the meanings of the card. I don't know them that well. I do know the tower. Everybody kind of knows the tower. If you have any like,
it's like the card with people jumping off of buildings on fire.
It's intense. But then what I love about that is also like, here's the lesson and here's the outcome. So it's almost giving you this like, again, trust in the unfolding of life and like the lesson and the learning, and it's for good.
And like, if you don't have the tower moments, you can't grow. You're not getting more of life. You're not getting to feel more of life. You have to go through those to be like, I'm ready to live more.
Yeah. I also love it for, and I get like, when I pull one of my oracle cards, I have this one deck I talked about here on Fatima's deck actually. And it's just like an oracle, you know, not tarot, but.
I feel like Shara might have showed it to me.
Oh yeah, probably.
Friend. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like it's beautiful. I actually really like her deck. And just because it's the only deck I had for probably like 8 years, I just know it so well what it is for me, exactly what you're talking about. So there's this one card that's like, it's the blessing in disguise card, basically, that I'm always like, oh shit, something's going to happen. And I'm going to have to be like,
but I love that
it's the greater good.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I kind of get excited now.
Yes.
When I get it. So then I spend my day in excitement over and by the way, any of the cards, like then I'm anticipating rather than anticipating like, oh, this is going to be the worst case scenario, this is going to be a bad day. I'm all of a sudden in a state of anticipating the universe looking out for me, and also like what's going to happen, that I'm going to be like, this is a blessing, and it puts me in a different state for my day.
That's such a great way to look at it.
Yeah, that's like, it's like even the tower, it's like, well, let's get this shit over with. If I need to get it out of my system, let's have it.
And sometimes it's boring to just get like I'll say that sometimes when I'll read someone at events where I'll just pull in, I'll be like, your cards are so good, it's kind of boring. Like I'm just like, what do you want me to say? I have nothing to say here. Like your life is good. Keep like giving of your heart, you know? Like sometimes it's kind of nice to be like, here's the spicy.
Yes. Yes. And also then you're not like, oh, it's like, oh yeah, I kind of had a feeling something was coming. I saw it in the cards. And then it's like, you don't have as much on it. You're almost like, I know the other side of this will be something I needed. Yep. Yeah. Yep. I love to say that I live in that space. I do not.
But I'm holding that blessing in disguise. I'm really into that even just putting those words.
Yeah. It's a shell that has like a pearl on the inside, but it's kind of at the bottom of the ocean. It's a little dark, but there's something on the inside. And then I was like, what is this? It's the lanyap, which is a shell. And then you read the meaning, and it's basically like a gift that you don't know it's a gift. That's like a sort of blessing in disguise that you'll eventually know. Anyway, so these already I love. Like, because I get energy. I love the gold, and I love the navy, and I love the star on it. But I don't, it's funny with tarot. I just like, I look and I'm like, I don't know. I see swords. I see pentacles. I see cups. I see, the star. I see, what's the other one? The fool. And I have no idea what any of them really mean. I just know what I feel when I see them.
Yeah. So but to me, that means you're already ahead of like, my favorite, and we tried to make this deck so like I'll be at a dinner party and we'll pull cards, but I'll just let everyone else talk about what they think it means. Yeah. And it's so fun to even see the husbands who at first are like, I don't want to do that, being like, wait, I think I know what this is about, you know? And they're like really good because they can look at the pictures and like you said, just go based on a feeling and get an understanding. And sometimes your own feeling, like you were saying at the beginning, like we're all opening up now and wanting to understand. And so if we can connect to something to help us understand even more of what our soul wants to tell us. Yes. That's why I like the tarot, because it is that sometimes in your mind you can be like, wait, did I just hear that message, or did I get that right? You know, and when you can have these things to look at, you're like, oh, that's what it's telling me. Yeah. You know, like. So how do you start, or like, how do you roll? Like, is your ear closing again? No, I just no.
Oh, okay.
No.
Now I'm like, what's it mean? Do you start like with a general, or do you usually start with like questions?
We can pull general. Yeah.
Just do a general.
Yeah.
I don't know.
When-
Maybe it'll prompt questions.
Tell me when your birthday is.
August 12th,
August 12th.
1980.
Oh yeah, this already is your year to be seen. The way I read it is like, this is your yes year. So it's a good time for you to be, even when I got here, you were talking about going to events. Like, this is a time for you to be out in the world, because a lot of times people that come into your life or come back into your life now are going to be supportive of where you're headed, where you're going, perhaps in bigger ways that you don't even know now. Like, you could meet like a director this year that becomes like a crucial part of where you're going in your career.
Wow,
like,
that's cool. Yeah. It's been a good year, but I also struggle a little bit with visibility. Like, people are like, you need to be more this or out
maybe
there
that's
more.
why you needed to hear that.
Yeah.
Right
So it's funny. First thing you said it, I was like, yes, I want to. Oh,
yeah, you're in the 3 year, and do you see the first card is the 3 of Cups?
yeah. Oh, I like the ladies dancing that too. That's really cool.
Okay.
These are really cool. I like these cards.
Oh, this is interesting about,
Okay.
Look at all the 8s. Do you see how you got all 4?
Love 8s.
4 8s.
Uh-huh.
8s are manifesting, right?
Okay.
So it shows the card behind you guys. Like, it's kind of amazing. We got the Tower reversed as her focus card, but it's reversed, so it's not so bad.
Okay.
And this is more like what the cards want you to focus on.
Oh.
So we're gonna come back to that.
Okay.
But the card that's behind you is like, it's almost like, good job, you've been trusting in life.
Okay.
Like, this is like, you've been trusting, so now
Yeah.
it's funny because even this 3 is just like, it literally, I mean, it's funny that I said, like, this is like, go out, enjoy. This is follow the joy now. Follow your feelings, enjoy.
Okay.
Like,
Have
it's
fun.
3 women drink it, like, have fun.
Yeah.
Because the way it's crossed is like, you don't have to work so hard for what you want.
Go ahead. Thank you. I heard something similar on another podcast that I was like, that is the truth. Kind of all around, but go ahead. Keep going. Sorry.
Your focus cards are like, things are already like breaking through for you. Death to me is like I love death, because this is like
new beginning,
and it's showing me it's already happening. Breakthroughs are happening now, and you need to let yourself feel through whatever fear you still have around the breakthroughs that are happening.
Literally just said that. I was like, I know exactly what it is. The second you were like visibility, or the second you were like, it's time to be out there, I was like, gut of like, oh, but I get so shy. I get so like, okay, got it.
And you're coming into confidence and owning yourself. And this actually is interesting too, because of the cough stuff and like whatever, or the throat stuff, like, cause it almost feels like this is coming through around your voice and how your voice, there's something there around your voice. And you owning that voice in a way. And so this next month for you is around owning your voice. It's like that card really wants you to get more confident in yourself, in your voice. And it's funny because this whole last line is around, because I know you film in another city, and it's showing me another city, but it's also showing me romance for you. Like, the message is like being really patient. Oh my God, and my heart is starting to, and the song just switched to Together Again by Janet Jackson.
Okay. Was this like an X?
I don't know, but like my heart just started going like this, and but this card is like, you're manifesting something big, and you need to not, like, the message is around just being patient. But it's funny how I'm getting two things around. There's something around the other city, and I can't just tell if that's around your work back in Toronto. Because you'll go back to Toronto, right?
In like a minute, in like 3 weeks. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. Because I just want to get you back there because that feels important. But also in terms of relationships, there is something around what you've already learned about yourself and who you are in relationship, and that you like know yourself and you're ready. And there's something. Yeah. And the only other card I didn't talk about is that it wants me to remind you, you don't need to, you do better or best when you don't see the possibility. You just have to know it's coming. And but it's almost better when you don't see it coming.
Well, that is the story of my life. Like literally. I mean, when I told you this job, even, I mean, yes, I auditioned for it, but like the way it came to me was like, what?
Really?
What? Yeah. Like it was bonkers actually. So, but that's the story. In fact, I had a moment the other day where I said, this is what I love about cards. I love that it hits in us, that we're like, oh, this little part of me that was maybe a little bit asleep. I just woke up, and like I hear, like when you say that, I'm like, that's right. I had this thought the other day of like, Maggie, we didn't, I mean, yeah, I love manifesting and I love all of that, but we never had to work that hard to kind of know what was coming, like what it was going to feel like. We didn't have to worry. I had this dream about 2 weeks before I got Boston Blue where and when I tell you, that was like I had just lost a major, like a job that I was sort of told was like mine. It was the same, blah, 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 blah. And I was just like, was that it? Is that like, it had been a tough few years, and I was like, was that the last run? Am I going to get blah, blah, blah? And I was just in this moment, and I had this dream where I went to my mom, and it was the last day of school. I could cry because I was like in 8th grade, but it was also modern day. And I said to her, she said, how do you feel? And I said, I literally am going to say, but because I was sobbing, and I said, well, I missed the whole thing because I spent the whole time worrying. And I didn't have to. And then a few weeks later, I got this job. And I was like, the dream to me was a way of sort of saying like, you don't have to worry. You don't even have to know, kind of like what you said. You don't even have to know what the job is. You don't even have to know what the thing is. It's just sort of trusting in whatever that is. Anyway, what I love about this is I literally just had this conversation with myself the other day where I was like, we can write it all out and vision board it all we want, but there's also a knowing. Yeah, that like, why don't we just walk with the knowing for a little bit, like, and just remember that, because that's what I did when I was little. That's what I did when I was a teen. That's before I got any of this manifestation stuff, and like, it all still came. All the things still dropped outside. Now I'm just like telling my life story. Anyway, let's go back to the tarot. Sorry.
No.
But this is one of the things I love about it, and I know a lot of people don't. I am when something gets like tapped, I'm like, I share it. So I'm sharing.
No, that's my favorite. But
yeah.
also I feel like sometimes in the sharing is when like the opening happens. This is crazy
because it's kind of saying the same thing. Well, what I got from it was almost like, you don't need, it's funny actually, Shara used to always say, instead of seeing is believing, you have to believe it to see it. So I was like, oh, that's actually really cool. You almost have to like trust that you can't even see it yet. You just have to believe it's there. And anyway, and so that's one of the things I got from this. I'll let you continue. Sorry.
No, that's like, and the song playing is Something Good. And it's all about something good's going to happen. The lyrics I think are like, I believe something's good is going to happen. That's the lyrics to this song are.
Do you leave it on shuffle?
Tuva Band. Yeah. It's a song of like, or it's a list of like 1,800 songs or 1,900 songs that I just hit shuffle, and then it just brings something up that it'll talk with us, or sometimes it'll bring on songs where people are like, that is
something.
The song I walked down the aisle to, or whatever. So it gives us the messages that way too.
I had a dream about a song that will be playing when I meet a soulmate.
No way.
It did. Yeah. And I'm not going to share it because
keep that
I can
for
tell
you.
But yeah. It was so clear, and I was like, what do I get? Oh, I'll know when I hear that song.
Wow.
And it's so random. It's not even a song I know at all. I mean, I know the song, but not in my So it's crazy. And now that's what I mean by I'm paying attention now.
Totally.
Yeah. Like I could have had that dream 10 years ago and been like, that was weird. Okay, continue. I'm so sorry.
No, I mean, the only other thing I would say is like those 4/8, that's very powerful, which to me, but the message in them, because 4/8 are very, like that to me is a powerful manifesting card. And so for you to get 4 of them here, but even the way the message came through and the way you said, like, you don't have to manifest, it's more like trusting and letting yourself be out. And this is like, know that you're already calling it all to you.
Yeah.
And there is something about usually this is the next few weeks or the next few months, but there is something about you getting stronger and clearer in yourself and in your voice. And it's like a very, like that strength reversed is like really, and sometimes people will have stuff come up around health and whatever to be like, to force you to like really start to own and empower yourself about what you're going to do.
Okay. I know what that is. I know this. Okay,
good.
The tower was there too.
But that tower in that position is like nothing new. It's literally telling you feel your emotions.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like it wasn't like if it showed up there, I'd be like, oh, okay, I'm prepping her for something coming. That's more like the cards yelling at you to be like, don't ignore your emotions and listen to what is coming up or what you're feeling or what fears. Even the way you just said, like, I don't want to be seen.
Yeah.
Because what I was going to say too, when you were talking about all, but when you were talking about all of that, I just kept feeling like, yeah, it just wants to show me about relationship now. But you're like, that feels like the part of being seen too. It's like all of it.
Yes.
And let yourself feel the emotion.
That was the biggest thing that I was like, I want to ask about this just because this is the most single I've ever been in my life. And by that, I mean, there's like not even a sniff of a person around. So I'm like, all right, well,
I'm sorry that together again felt like whether it's, someone or not, cause I can't tell by these, but it did feel like, you're gonna feel like the fact that you had a dream about the song, like it's gonna that together again, whether it's like together soul in this lifetime or soul, it's going to feel.
When you
no denying it.
Pointed to this strength card too, I was like, do I share this? I don't know, because sometimes I'll like, just lately I've started hearing things too, but I heard when you were like, this is around your voice, and I heard in order to get stronger you have to get quiet. Ooh. And I was like, lately I've been like, I need to stop talking so much and just listen. Literally said these words yesterday, and I was like, I wonder if that's what my voice is. Anyway, so I heard that, and then I was like, yeah, so maybe it's about like taking a little quiet time away to like settle into that voice. But my voice is a big thing. It's a big thing. Yeah. Anyway, thanks.
Do you want me to ask more about the relationship?
Yeah.
What do I need to tell her about partnership? Right?
Yeah.
What do I need to know about partnership? Now my head's getting all tingly, which is
it's fun.
Thing.
Oh.
That comes up right.
Crazy. Wait. Okay. Oh.
Okay. I'm sorry. You're ready for this. This is what was showing me shuffling too. Okay.
This is what I love about doing this stuff. Is like you literally look at how excited we are right now. It brings out like even the bad. Who? The guy? I've literally only ever dated one Gemini. That's so funny. So maybe. And that was a long time
We're going to start here. This is like, you're ready for a relationship. I'm sorry. These two are like, you are ready, but you need to be seen. The sun is like, this is growth for you. This is like being seen. This is like, you are confident. Okay. Like, so whatever's coming up at the beginning, this is an acknowledgement of like, you're ready. So own it.
Okay.
Say yes. This is also like saying yes. Maybe even to, I don't know, someone wants to set you up.
Date.
Or like, say yes. It's showing me King of Swords, which is like it doesn't necessarily mean it's an air sign. Like I read someone this morning that her husband was, but it's a man who's like very strong in his knowing of himself, of like, it's a very like, it could be an air sign. I don't know. I threw Gemini out, but like, it's a very strong knowing. I mean, but those That's three beautiful. Cards, I'm almost scared to pull anything else. I'm like, those are so good. Cause to me, it's like, But the sun is also like, not even needing it. Like, it's a reminder of like, you're so good and you're just saying yes, but you're not like, where's the relationship?
No,
you're just like,
not on the app. I'm not even out there like pursuing anything. I'm just like, it'll
you're
show
just
up.
saying yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Let me see. What else do I need to tell
I was like,
her?
I will let you decide if you want to pull more. Okay. Oh.
There is something around, this is around not trying to control the location of it and just knowing exactly what you want.
Oh, the location.
I don't know. I don't know if it's like where you're going to be.
Because I'm away.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Whoa. Ooh.
You're manifesting now and you don't need to worry about choosing. So whenever you feel like, am I deciding this? Like, stop trying to decide.
Okay. Stop thinking.
And trust. Now I want to do the time frame because that's going to help me, because this whole thing is like, remind her to have fun, remind her to like
not put too much on it.
I will say also for you, he needs to be able to fit in with your work, because it feels like that is elevating too. And so we want to make sure it all fits together.
If I were to like get a sense of something myself, what song came on?
One Day by
I love the title.
One Day by, I can't see the,
Oh, that's okay.
I'll show it to you later, but it's called One Day.
I might have you send me these songs.
Yeah, I'll send you the playlist.
Yeah, I love a playlist for this. Okay. Wait, what are we doing? Timing? Timing.
See if it'll give me anything.
Yeah.
Sometimes it will.
Sure. I'm down. Down to hear some, because I feel it. I feel it in the
Yeah, it's so wild. When this card comes out, it's either that you know each other already or that it's such a deep soul connection. It keeps doing that to me. So when it does that, I just want you to know this is so familiar, or like I'm giving you both, but it's coming through just like so knowing. Okay, and the Fool, which is my favorite card, which is just like, you need, when that shows up in timing, it's like, you need to be of the attitude it could happen tomorrow. Like, this is just like, yes, I'm like, even this also could be though an ex that comes back that you're like, I don't want to do this, and you're like, but I'm gonna just go see why this is here. This is
I've said some yeses recently that I was like, I'm glad I did that.
Not because it was
but just because I feel like I have a clear answer, and also it kind of levels out the energy of like, what is there still something, is there like, am I still curious? Like, I'm so big on that. Like, so many people will be like, don't text your ex and don't do that, and I'm like, but if the energy's not resolved, if it's like a frayed wire that's like not capped, I'm like, all right, well, what do I need to know? And then maybe you go and it's like, oh, I got it, I got what I needed to know, and now the energy can just like be like, okay, that's,
my ear just popped when you said that.
Oh, crazy. I was really grateful for this night that, like, I mean, it wasn't like this night, it was just like it was like, oh, right, okay, we've done this and it's done, but also now we can have this, which is very, very, very cool. Yeah, which I love. Okay, is that a marriage? Is this like a baby?
This could be when the Three of Pentacles is reversed.
Yeah,
this goes back to what I was saying, where it's like it's gonna fit in with how you work. I don't know if this means it's somehow tied into your work, but I keep getting the message the person's gonna fit in with your creative work really well.
Okay. I have a feeling it's connected to work. My gut has told me it's connected to work. My gut has also kind of told me Toronto, but that maybe he's not even from there, but that like that's just where this thing happens. And then it's like, yes, I have had all these kind of like feelings already of like,
okay, so how wild you and I are getting the same messages.
Same exact thing. Yes, I've had just like a weird sense, but then like the first season kind of went by, but it was the first season. I had to like focus on work, and I was also like, you know, kind of figuring some other, and had another thing like so it was like, now it's like, what's up?
The song playing is 40-Day Dream, which to me, remember that beginning that I said usually that card means like a month. If I were you, I would take the next 40 days. And you're like,
oh, I love 40 days. That's a very, that's powerful. Yeah.
There's something about that you're in that, like, there's something about the next 40 days where you're using it as an opportunity to really like, I just go back to that beginning, like feel through and open up to like,
this is
like getting yourself ready.
why I love these conversations. This is why I love, like, this is part of the reason I wanted to kind of introduce this more, because it's what I'm experiencing in my own life of like having healers on, readers, whatever, just because I feel like there is so much healing in it, and so much, as we're just talking right now, it's like I'm already like, I'm excited. Now I'm going to be in the space and the vibration of what I want to attract, because I'm literally like, okay, and I don't need to worry if it doesn't happen tomorrow, but maybe it will. But
there's
like,
something
what a
about
fun,
40 days.
There's something, 40 days. Oh.
This is,
Okay, I love her. She's like, what's going on? She's got a Grammy. What is this? Is that Christina Aguilera? These cards
this
are
is
amazing.
the card I saw when I was shuffling.
Okay.
All I'll tell you is that when that Fool comes up in timing, I'm just supposed to tell you, you need to be acting like it could happen tomorrow. Like, you need to be open to, it's like, that's the message.
Okay.
And then I'm going to tell you, there is a shift for you in October.
Okay.
October is a shift. And it reads
I just heard the song in my head, We Fell in Love in October, but go ahead. Do you know that song?
No.
Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah.
Okay. There's something in October, and it's funny because it's even showing me work stuff in here again, where it's almost like, again, there's something that even could happen in October where there's, just know it's telling me, keep your heart open, and the work part of it is a piece of this.
Okay.
That I
feel that too.
I feel in a way that even could be something that starts to spring up in October for work for you around possibility. I don't know how this ties in with like your work on the show, but
I do have other things that are sort of out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I feel something big coming in with work that's showing up in here, and
awesome.
I'm like, how does that tie?
Yeah. Or is it the job I'm possibly on? Or is this new?
It could be. It could be there, but there is something else it's showing me that.
Okay.
I'm going to leave it at October, and then know that there's something big landing for work. And somehow, because it's showing me that timeline in relationship, it feeds together.
Okay. Love it. I don't know. This is great.
Yeah.
Is there anything else I need to know? Is there anything else I need to know? I would ask
The
about
song
health.
just switched to Bending the Light, which is a very powerful, like, that to me is like the music talking about your own spirituality and how you're like going in between.
Am because I'm like having a weird thing. Like, I'm having a moment right now where I'm like, I'm hearing, like, I will hear things, and I'm like, I hear you. But that's what I'm about listening. Maybe I always have. I'm just now like, got it. Okay.
But I think it's like you're moving it, the bending the frequency. It's like you're moving into a next frequency. Like, I think those of us that want it and are seeking are open to it.
Yeah.
There's this level of like, do you want to connect more? You want more?
Yeah.
We'll give you more.
Yeah. Totally.
And you're like,
asking it is
I've
given.
been ready. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
What
Okay.
else?
Yay.
Anything else we need to
Yay.
know?
This is so fun. I hope the listeners like this as much as I do. But
okay, last card. This is like anything now. This wants me to tell you, and this again goes back to like, this is like, if you feel it all like you're moving like this,
yes,
you need to stay positive, and you need to trust in like, this is like being fully in your heart. Like this to me is an acknowledgement of what you're doing is not only like what you're meant to do because it's making you money or your work, but because it's like a gift. Like, this is like sharing your heart with the world in a very purposeful way. And it's showing up in a way to remind you, like, keep doing that. So even if it feels like stay in that and know that you're this is the manifesting card.
I love that. That's my favorite.
The fact that we were like, what else do you need to know? And I'm like, oh, you're calling in some big things.
Yeah, good. I love this so much. I do feel that way. I feel that way about this podcast. I feel that way about, I don't have a lot of time over the next 9 months to do much of anything, but I do know that there's something in me that still, I'm like, I still feel so connected to this. I still feel so connected to like many things I want to share or talk about.
Wait, why did you say 9 months?
Because I'm shooting for 9 months, and it's very hard to do much else in the 9 months that I'm shooting.
Wow.
But yeah.
But that might be where, because I don't know why I keep feeling in
what
that even like I just
yes
there's something big next year.
There's a whole thing that's I feel it, like I can't tell. It's the believe it before you see it type thing. It's just
and
like,
it's almost like you don't want to
happening.
put words on it because you don't want to lessen possibility of what it is.
Totally. It's not like, oh, it's
what
not
I mean,
just
like,
this. It's like, oh, or 9 months, I can't do anything else. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't even want to say that. I'm like,
Yeah.
how many things can I do in that 9
Yeah.
months? And so this is my point. This is what I was just going to share with everybody who's like kind of new to this is like, first off, you're amazing. Your energy is just so lovely. It's like grounded, but also like full of sparkles and like excitement and joy.
Wait, I was going to say thank you because I felt with you, I was like, I'm coming into a new level of grounding that nobody would ever describe me that way. And I felt with you, I'm like, oh, something about being with you, I feel grounded in the way that I've been begging for. So anyway, I was going to acknowledge your energy is really good because it's helping hold
Oh my
me
God.
there.
Thank you for saying that. First thing I thought when I walked in, literally when you stood up, I was just like, oh, the feet on the ground. Like you were just very like in your, I swear to God, that's why I said you're like this grounded first word I said, but also like full of this like just sparkles. I just keep seeing like these little happy sparkles. I'm like, and I don't even know what I'm saying, but this is my point though, for people like listening is like, you have, if this is something new, you're just sort of wandering into like I am, and I'm going to let you go. Look at what we just shared. And I think that there's something so magical in like what comes from this. So how do people, do you even advertise? Like, do you even want to say?
I would love if people want to go on my Substack.
Where?
That's where I'm like, because my reading, I mean, you can buy readings on my website, but the Substack is the best way to tap in a very like fun way. And then that's where I do the teaching.
Amazing.
So it's just my name on Substack
too. Yeah, like just the most beautiful energy. That's like also so many things you said. I heard when you said like, it's like when I saw it helping people, when I saw heal, and I'm like, oh, that's your purpose. Like this is your gift and you're using it, and look at what you're using it for. So like, this is my point of like, yes. Okay. I'm so happy we did this.
Same.
And I was like, please let my voice hold today. And it's like kind of came back. Enough, like, because even my friend was like, you sound a lot better today. And I'm like, you should have heard me yesterday. Oh no, I probably heard my message. I was like, if I sound like this tomorrow, I'm going to embarrass myself. Cannot thank you enough. What songs?
This
What?
song, Talking in Your Sleep.
I hear the secrets that you keep when you're talking in your sleep. Well, my dreams lately, let's go. I'm listening.
Dreams.
I'm listening. Keep talking to me. Thank you so much. Thank you so much,
gosh,
Angie.
thank you
You're
for having me.
amazing.
This was so fun.
Is this good? Is there anything else you wanted to add before we go?
This is
Okay.
great.
Okay,
I
great.
just looked up again and saw 33.
Oh my God.
33 seconds.
That's so good. Okay. See how excited we get? This is what every day should feel like. Anyway, okay. Love you all. Thank you so much. I'm going to hang up now.